only. Here with reaction is the Florida Surgeon General, Dr. Joseph Ladapo is with us. Doctor, thank you. First of all, I give you and I give the governor of Florida so much credit. You set up, when the Delta variant, we learned we had breakthrough cases. Fully vaccinated people were still getting COVID. And the next option was therapeutics. The therapeutic that saved lives then, for the original variant, right from the beginning, the Delta variant, was Regeneron and Eli Lilly's version of monoclonals. Now I understand GSK, sotrovimab, is better for Omicron. Why are we mass producing all of this so it's readily available for everybody? Wouldn't that be the answer?
Oh, thanks for having me on, Sean. Well, you're completely correct that it would be a huge benefit to the American population if they had ready access to outpatient therapy. But the situation we're in is actually reflective of the situation we've been in basically the entire pandemic, which is that the federal leadership has just failed to see the value in treating people and has created this one track for managing the pandemic, and it doesn't work for everyone.
Doctor, I know people that got the Omicron variant and got Regeneron and the Eli Lilly monoclonals. They all swear to me that it helped a lot. Not one of them had any problems. Not one of them needed hospitalization. Nobody died. They got it early, as is advised by you and by the state of Florida.
At Navy Federal Credit Union,
we experience?
Yeah, it's a really important question. And unfortunately, we actually don't have a valid scientific answer to that question. And we should have had one before the FDA made the decision to pull it.
Oh,
so you're asking something that's so basic.
I thought they followed the science.
There's laboratory science, and we were aware of those studies. So the laboratory studies show a decreased affinity for the Omicron variant in terms of the spike protein, and that's very important information. But ultimately, what we care about is whether that same laboratory finding translates to patient findings, and we're studying that in Florida. But there's data out there, and the federal leadership hasn't released those data. They haven't analyzed them, as far as I know, and that's really what you want to know. You want to know whether it actually doesn't help patients anymore, or helps patients a little bit, or helps patients a little bit more than that. It's such a basic question. And if our leadership was oriented, yeah.
Could we warp speed? Let's say if the GSK monoclonals are more efficient with Omicron. Let's say that's true. Could we warp speed the production? Could we actually partner GSK and Eli Lilly and Regeneron, because they've done such a phenomenal job, and get the needed therapeutics to people when they need it, whether they have a breakthrough case, whether they're fully vaccinated, boosters, or had natural immunity and they're still getting it?
Almost anything is possible with the right leadership. I think Florida is a great example of that. The governor here, Governor DeSantis, has done things that no one else around the country has done, and it's because of his leadership. So yeah, I think the answer to your question is yes, with the right leadership.
When people ask me what are the three most important issues facing the Congress, I always say the same thing. Our children, our children, our children. That is my why I'm in Congress, for the children. As you hear me say, take a punch or throw a punch for the children. That is why I am running for re-election to Congress and respectfully seek your support.
Running for the opposite reason, to get rid of the incompetent adults that are screwing everything up. Imagine that. Now that's good for the children too. Now, of course, no one has stood more in the way of children's success than the Democrats. They're the ones that are keeping schools closed and putting masks on kids and bending, the knee to far-left teachers' unions. They let them write COVID laws, advocate against school choice. Here with reaction, Senator Lindsey Graham. I'm sure you're